as soon as Lois gets back to the coffee pot.
I was trying to get it done before you got started this. All right, I'm ready. Have it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How about roll call?
Right. Sarah Tiley, absent. Deanna Coots,
Here.
Newman,
Here.
Horner,
Here.
McPhail,
Here.
Dennis,
Here.
and Lois Tiley.
Here.
We have the minutes from the last meeting in your packet. Any questions about them? If not, do I hear a motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting?
I'll make a motion we accept the meetings as written for March 13th, 2019 council minutes.
I'll support.
Well, second?
Diane Dennis.
Diane did it.
Oh, we're gonna get her to speak up.
Sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Let's see, communications, Saginaw County Parks calendar.
Wait a minute, we have another meeting. We had a special meeting about the water and sewer.
Oh, that's right. Any questions on the water and sewer meeting? If not, do I hear a motion to accept those minutes for that meeting?
I make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Support?
Yes.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now, Saginaw County Parks calendar.
Please notice a addition to their listing of park events include events at Lumberjack Park here in St. Charles. So I know that we've been waiting for some things to happen here, so this is a good sign.
Any questions? That's all the communications we seem to have unless,
Yeah, go ahead. Good for you.
I overlooked the, public communications. Anybody have anything to which to present at this time or discuss? Step right up, take the microphone, and you got 3 minutes.
I came up here, my neighbor, John Wilding, said that we were gonna get a sign put on our road, because of the kids, like a slow down for kids
He
sign.
said you were coming to bring that to our attention tonight.
Okay, alright, yeah, but there's about 5 houses around me with all have little kids, ages 3 to like 13, and we were hoping to get a sign in the back of my house. I'm on, West Bell,
Where, oh, yeah, okay.
and it's behind my house.
And they're talking about the street of 212 Water Street to the corner.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So
So, Westwater, or
Westwater.
Westwater Street. Anything else to support your need?
The people fly up and down that road, I know all the time coming out of the bar, they try to cut the light to, avoid, semis and whatnot, they're flying down that road all the time, it'd be nice to get a cop that sits down there once in a while too. And maybe pull some of those people over. Yeah, the Wildings have 3 boys, my daughter, she plays back there all the time, her play structure's 20 foot from the road. And then, Cindy, she has 2, twins at 3 years old, and they're always playing in the backyard. It'd be really nice to get something back there. Hopefully
So
people-
you're talking on
What?
West Water Street, You live on Bell Avenue, you're talking about your backyard.
Yeah, my backyard
Yeah.
butts up against West Water Street.
And it goes down to the parking lot by the funeral
Kendall,
home.
yeah.
Yes.
That place.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So you want it on Water Street?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
What's the speed limit there?
25,
Oh,
I believe.
But they do fly down there.
They
Yeah,
do,
yeah,
and they cut,
Yeah.
and they cut the other way to skip the light
They
and come
do,
out at the
yeah.
funeral home.
They're always trying to get a hold of, ahead of semis and stuff that are coming up to the corner.
Yep,
So what do we gotta do for that?
just,
Can we, I mean, that's something we have to pay for, right? I mean, that's a
Yeah.
village.
oh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
just
That's
a-
not
it's
a
just street
DOT.
sign.
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
come out of the streets.
Yeah, it's on
fund
ours.
and, yeah. And we would just figure out what the best sign would be. And
Children playing.
children
or,
at play or
Yeah,
something to that effect, yeah.
Probably children at play, I would think. I don't know, what do you think, what would you think?
Usually says
Slow
slow
children
children.
playing.
Yeah, playing. Jenny, did you get his name?
I didn't actually.
My name's Jason Yovich, Y-O-V as in Victor, I-C-H.
Okay, and your address is,
It's 212 West Bell,
okay,
West Bell, not Westwater?
no, West Bell.
West Bell, okay.
So what did Matt say? We have to ask the Department of Transportation,
Nope.
but that's a village street.
Yep,
isn't
that's our, no, that, we just have to figure out the best sign and then go buy one and put it up.
And is one gonna be sufficient? That's
We'll probably put one on
two
each end of the
blocks.
street.
each, coming off of
It's
Bell.
two
and-
lots.
One
Mhm.
facing this way, one facing that way, in each direction of travel.
Yeah,
yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Thank you for coming to us. Anyone else have any discussion, questions, or otherwise? If not, move on. Back to the payment claims. Everybody got a copy, I hope, I believe. Anybody have any questions? Yes, Diane?
yes, I do.
What page you,
Well,
start on one and work our way back?
yeah,
Okay.
page one. On the dumpsters, I know there's one at the big park, Matt. Is the other one behind Style Trend?
Yeah.
Is it, and then where's the third one at?
Believe it's at the DPW building.
Oh, okay.
Well, we have one, at our office here.
Oh,
It's
all
at our
right.
office. yeah.
The one behind Style Trend is ours?
Well, there's one of them that, back there that is ours.
Okay.
One of them back there. There's two behind the building. One's ours and one is, I think it is Style Trends.
Probably.
There's names out there.
And then I see the View newspaper. That price, is that just for our council minutes?
It's for council minutes, public hearing notices, and, I think we had to post our spring,
Weeds and
our
grass?
weeds and stuff. That might be on the next one, but this one is
I've
for
seen it on.
public hearings and stuff like that.
We also have, the tax one is part of that one, isn't it?
This one.
That's a big one.
Oh, that was this one.
That was,
Yeah.
yeah, cause we had, the
Cause
budget
it-
hearings and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah,
And we,
just,
we changed an ordinance or two, and those are all public hearings that have to be noticed in the paper, so,
oh, okay. So we did a lot.
yeah, we did a lot.
Page?
Oh. Page 4. On the Sam's Club, was that a lot of items or what? It just says supplies, so it doesn't really tell us.
It was most
Clean-
likely paper towel, toilet paper,
Oh,
stuff
cleaning,
like that.
okay. I think that's all I had. Anyone else have a question?
I do on the, first sheet, the account balance report. On the first page. Of our certificates of, deposit, the second line over. 34 is gone, what happened to that?
We probably liquidated it to pay a bill or something, added it to cash. Sometimes the CDs expire and we take the money as cash and then we reinvest it somewhere else. So some of that stuff moves back and forth a little bit.
And then on the Downtown Development Authority, at the very end there, they were down 46, 5 something, you know, what was that for?
Probably, I'm not sure, this isn't an expense statement.
They
This is-
take these and move it around to get CDs for 200 or
Right.
whatever they shoot for. Because if you look over here, you're actually in the negative in the MERS fund, that means they just took the money they had.
Well, that
Put it
one I
in a different
understand,
CD.
yeah. That I understand.
That's what all this means.
Okay.
My big question is, why are we down to 2 SIPs? No, that's-
Oh, you know the answer to that.
Do I?
Yeah, Beaver, or, the industrial park.
Oh, that's right, yeah, okay, gotcha.
I just get nervous because that's a lot of money there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're just playing with it. It's still there.
Yeah.
Okay.
CDs expire and then we reinvest it, and
Hopefully,
Or-
because they're getting better rates.
And right now is the time period where we don't have any revenue. We're not receiving tax revenue because what we sent out last year is already, if the person's gonna pay their taxes, they already have with us. And so now it's at the county, so we're not receiving any tax revenue in through the general fund right now until we send out the July bill. So there's gonna be a period of time where we may be using some of the cash balances just to operate a little bit. But that's completely normal for this time of year.
When does the county pay us off?
In July, I think, July or
Is it
August.
July? Okay. They pay us for everybody that doesn't.
Okay.
Were you done, Diana?
Yep, that was it.
I make a motion, we pay the bills in the amount of $89,257.52.
I'll support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. New business, fire insurance and withholding program, resolution 19-9.
Yeah, we've talked about this a couple of times, and it was something that was kind of on the back burner for us, but now that we've had a couple fires in the village, and we've got some houses that are sitting there burnt, I think it's important for us to become part of this program for future fires that might happen. The way this program works is it's free for us to join, and basically we join it by resolution. They put our name, the Village of St. Charles, on a list, and that list is shared by the state with all of the insurance companies in the state. And anytime a person who lives in the village makes a claim for a fire to their insurance company, they withhold a certain percentage out and give it to us to put in an escrow account in case they don't do anything with it in a certain period of time. And then we get to take that money and either demolish the house or make it up to code or whatever the case is, most likely a demolition. But that gives us the ability to kind of put some timelines on these people to deal with their burnout houses. And this is the teeth we kind of need to enforce that on them right now.
And that does it cost us when we use it? I mean, if we get somebody, you get part of my house burns and you get part of my insurance, does it cost the village to use that money to,
It doesn't
Tear
cost
down
us
my
to
house.
use the money, there may be a small fee for the escrow account, but it doesn't cost us any money to use that money. That is the money that comes from the person's insurance policy. Now, the caveat to that is, the person has to have insurance.
Okay, question here. So say they're going to rebuild.
Mhm.
I'm assuming this would happen with every fire, right? Okay. So say if the house didn't totally burn down or whatever, they want to rebuild. Is this, what's the impact on the resident having that money held out?
So if they wanna rebuild, they have to provide to us like building permits and plans, and then we can release the money to them for building.
They get it.
They get it.
Yeah.
They get it.
Yeah, we don't keep it indefinitely. We give it back to them either through that, if they have an actual plan and a contractor lined up to fix the home, and they would do that through their insurance company. Or if they don't do anything over a period of time, we take the money that we've set aside and we demolish the home.
Is it an amount that would
Covered?
cover it?
Well, it's not always. It's 25%, or I think it's like
67.25.
67.25 is
It's
the
the
cap.
most we
So
get.
$6,000.
Okay.
Probably cost us 10 to the mouse.
Yeah.
Most likely, yeah. It's about $10,000
But
average.
it's gonna cost us 10 either way.
Right.
And
This'll just help.
the other way, it's gonna cost us $10,000 without this program, $10,000 plus court fees and legal fees to go to court to get it
Do you
declared a
remember
public
what the
nuisance.
cost was to demo that little house? there?
10.
Was it 10? I thought so. 10, 11, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah. All right.
Matt, you mentioned this a while back, it needs a, oh, what do I wanna say,
The resolution.
a resolution.
Yes,
So it's too late for the Clark House then?
yes.
Okay.
In fact, this has a time frame on it, so when we approve it tonight, we'll send it to the state. The state will publish a list with the insurance companies, but there's a 30-day waiting period before we are allowed to enforce this. So unfortunately, we've missed it with a couple of the last fires, but any fires moving forward, after 30 days, we'll be able to use this program.
You got 3 of them sitting right now.
Yeah.
And it's
And I
only,
suppose if the insurance company was holding them up, we would wait until they had an answer from the insurance company what they were going to do.
And that's typically how it is.
Yeah.
and it's only fires, it's not like, you got a real bad house on Bell that's ready to fall. It's only fires, right? It's not fall
It's
down
only
houses.
fire insurance.
Okay.
So when somebody makes a claim with their insurance because of a fire,
Okay.
this kicks in.
Well, I see you provided us with a resolution.
Yep, the resolution is provided by the state, we just, plugged in all of our information.
Okay.
And then we have to fill out, that form, which I pre-filled out for us.
On the back?
Yep. And so what I'll do is, once this is approved, I'll sign everything, send it in, and then we'll be on the list.
Well, I make a motion, we approve resolution 19-9, Village of St. Charles Fire Insurance Withholding Program.
I'll
Support.
support.
Looks like it'll be a roll
Roll
call.
call?
Sarah Tiley, absent. Diana Coots?
Yes.
Christine Newman?
Yes.
Richard Horner?
Yes.
Jim McPhail?
Yes.
Diane Dennis?
Yes.
And Lois Tiley.
Yes.
Motion carried. Next item is the presentation of AKT Peerless Final Action Report.
Carl Primdahl from AKT Peerless is here to present the report to council. Carl?
Right. This has been a long time in coming.
Yes, we agree.
And you'll have to, I think I mentioned this last time I was here, I have a real phobia of speaking in public, so please bear with me on that one, please. But no, this has been a long time in coming. This has been, it's a very complicated site. And we're also working a lot with the DEQ on the reimbursement funds. There's been some changes in DEQ policies as well as changeover within the DEQ staff on now who is their project manager. So I'll be working now with a totally new person. I think this will be the 3rd person I've had to work with over there. The report has been submitted and hopefully it's ready to go. One of the issues on the time frame on this as well has been making sure that it meets all of the MUSFA, the reimbursement program funds, because that's gonna be covering a lot of this payment for you. So it's worth a little extra time to make sure that all the i's are dotted and t's are crossed. The report is in with the state. What we are advising, has anybody, any members read the report?
Oh, yeah.
They got it, but
Oh,
we
yeah.
got it, read it.
Okay.
And
yeah, it's a
You
good-
don't see the bleary eyes here?
And
It's riveting stuff to me, but I understand it.
I did cut it down to mostly just the narrative for them. I took the analytical stuff out of the back, so they don't have all that stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, the analytical stuff is kind of what led me to the narrative on here. We are ready to start putting out bids to dig it. So in other words, all of this, all the reports, all the investigations, everything that we've done out here, back and forth with DEQ, we're digging a hole. We're gonna take the dirty dirt out and we're gonna put clean dirt back in.
Okay.
I know that sounds simplistic from my end, but that is kind of pretty much the way we're gonna go about it. We're gonna try and go for a clean closure on the site, unrestricted clean closure. If that is not possible, You know, some of it's not that big of an issue if it's not. If there's some of the material that's left under the foundation of the building, we just can't get to it. We might have to do a deed restriction on the property, saying that we're not gonna drill a water well out here for drinking water purposes, or maybe use any of the groundwater for irrigation or for any reason. We don't anyway. That's a pretty minor issue. There is also the issue of the sub-slab vapors, which, you know, many of you know, I've come out and I've tested, I've got ports all around out here, I've collected several rounds of sampling. The only area right now that we have any sort of an issue is out in the garage in one spot. We'll see what happens after we dig out that corner and where we stand with that. That might take care of it right then and there. So with the dig and haul activities that we're proposing, I'm pretty confident that we're gonna be able to get the source of the impact out, and that's by where the former USD's underground storage tanks used to be. And we'll be able to get the grossly impacted soil out, and then we might have to do what's called monitored natural attenuation, where it will naturally attenuate once you have the gross contamination out of the ground. And we'll put in monitoring wells around it, sample them for a year on a quarterly basis, and hopefully, you know, work our way towards closure that way. The report also addresses the air sample that I collected at the chief's desk. And there was, I don't know if you saw that, there was pretty much everything came back non-detect. I think there was one trace element of acetone that came back well below any sort of cleanup criteria or action levels. So, and was also the case in all of my sub-slab samples, the 8 of them that I pulled out in the main part of the building, with the exception of the one back in the garage, which was number 9, temporary.
I was trying to summarize this for myself, okay?
Yes,
Which
ma'am.
is very interesting. But it looks to me like you're saying that there's nothing dangerous here then, in terms of inside the building?
Nothing
Except, but it could potentially be, right? Or so, how are you saying that exactly?
I have, inside the building, I have detected nothing above any sort of action levels for the constituents of concern that are related to the former leak
Okay.
out there in that corner. So that, yeah, at that part, I haven't been able to find anything.
Okay.
You know, even in the ambient air and sub-slab, with the one exception of the garage area. If that persists, after we do the cleanup and everything is all said and done, and if that persists and we still have that, that's also an easy enough mitigation. I can just put in a sub-slab ventilation system and vent it straight up to the atmosphere with like a wind turbine or a passive or an active pump, and divert anything that could possibly come up through the slab in that corner and just divert it. But first, let's see what we can do by digging and hauling.
But you didn't find anything on a dangerous level back there,
No.
right? Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. There
Because,
was,
yeah.
there was trace elements of naphthalene which were above action levels, not grossly above action levels, but are above action levels, and back in that one area, yeah, I don't see any big issues that's gonna get, I'm pretty confident that it's gonna get taken care of when we do the dig. If not, we have another route we can go just to take care of that one issue.
How long do you think this whole, to get it cleaned up, get the whole dug, everything out, and something put back in there, how long is that gonna take?
Well, now that this has been done, I sent over actually it's a real short, RFP for the bidders to come out. I would like to have an on-site visit by the bidders to come out and have a look at it, by the end of the month. If not before, let's have some bids back by first week of May, approved, and have them digging right away. The digging itself isn't gonna take that long. I'm anticipating that could probably take, depends on what we find, it could go 10 days, and that might even include the backfill. I've spoken to Matt about this, we're proposing to help save money. We're not gonna get involved in replacing the asphalt. We'll let you guys do that, and we'll just bring it up to the grade that you want before the asphalt goes in.
Does that include the people's yard in the back too?
We don't think so. We think we're gonna be able to take it right up to that yard. If it does happen to go into their yard, we're hoping to have, well, we do already have a, access agreement signed with them, but we're not gonna just go, oh, we've got an access agreement, we're gonna go, we'll work with them and
Okay,
say,
and
okay,
if we
look,
end up
we have to-
going in there, we'll replace their grass.
Oh, you
and-
bet, it'll
yep.
be like, you know, we were never there. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, yes, ma'am, that's very important. You have to keep the residents happy around
Yes.
here. And with the vapor mitigations and the new VI rules, vapor intrusion rules, their property is well outside any of the
Can you
boundaries.
tell by the
that we-
color of the dirt when you're digging where the problems are or not? Or do you test as they
We
dig?
test it as we dig.
Okay,
And then once we dig, like I've got some handheld meters and I'll have somebody out here doing that type of stuff. And then we'll collect some samples around, they're called verification of soil remediation samples, VSRs, around in the area, and the DEQ has certain guidelines that they want us to follow in collecting those samples and what will be analyzed for.
so it's kind of like a cancer, you take it out until you get to a clean spot?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
And a big part of the investigation is knowing
about where?
dirty, clean. That's not always exactly accurate, but we have a very good idea. And we always, like when I'm putting together my maps, my figures, and the possible extent of contamination and excavation, if I have a boring way over there that's hot, and I've got one right here that's clean, I'll go right here and say, this is, we know it goes to right here.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's- Like I said, I hope I'm not rambling on, but I hate
Oh, no,
speaking.
yeah.
It's like my worst phobia.
No, I
You
understand.
know, all day I've been kind of
You're
going, oh, no.
Yeah. How deep is this hole gonna be?
It's gonna go down to groundwater, and so it might be anywhere from, I'm gonna say the average depth is gonna be about 6 feet. It may be a little deeper in some areas. If I get to some areas and I wanna, you know, dig down a little bit farther, that's my plan. In the report, I think I put 12,000 cubic, or 1,200 cubic yards, for the bidders that I'm gonna put out. I'm gonna make it a little bit more, just so that we have that coverage.
mhm.
You know, so I'll have a little contingency built in there. So if you look at the
So
RFQ.
1,470 tons of impacted soil.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to put in there for the bidders list. That gives us a good round number, everybody's bidding apples to apples, and it also gives us a little bit of contingency in there. Hopefully we don't have to come back after change orders. The RFQ is actually fairly simple. You know, it's get a company to come out, you know, who's qualified to do the work. I wanna approach probably 5 companies.
But because of groundwater, it can follow pad like fingers, right?
Correct.
So you
but
follow those
groundwater-
around, or?
Groundwater's gonna flow in one direction.
Okay.
And so, and with the borings that we've put in, with the borings from the past companies that has done some in the DEQ, yes,
Would
ma'am.
they run towards the river? I mean,
Yes,
is
ma'am.
that
Yes.
generally?
So, and we've got it defined. I'm confident when I put in this report that I'm telling the DEQ, this is what it is, these are your concentrations, and this is where we're gonna find it. This is what we're gonna do to remediate it, and when we're all said and done, we should be looking pretty good.
Yeah, now when you say garage, in the corner of the garage,
Yes, ma'am.
are you talking about the corner of what used to be the garage over here?
No.
Or the corner of the real garage in the back?
The real garage in the back.
Okay, okay,
It's the back corner, right?
Yes, sir.
The northeast corner.
okay.
Pardon me?
The northeast corner.
Where the tanks were.
Where the tanks
Yes,
was.
yeah, right there by the tanks. So,
One thing we all wanna know, when's the first shovel gonna be stuck in the ground?
oh, don't we all wanna know? Well, like I said, with the RFQ, I wanna send that out, hopefully, well, we're gonna get that out in the next, once you guys approve it and say, Carl, run with it, I will put those on the streets, within, I'm hoping to have somebody out here the first week in May.
Okay,
First
cause
and
you've got
second
here
week
the
in
bids are due April 30th, but that's just a
Yes, sir.
guess date.
That's,
thing that we created.
and that I just kind of put together to show you those dates.
Okay.
We can change. I wanted to have something in there for you to look at on
Yeah.
dates. You know, so and if you guys want to adjust
Thought
that
I'd
back
ask you.
farther, I'm good with that. I did also talk to Matt about this, about a possible local company, having them on the bidders list, but I haven't found one that can do hazardous type materials.
Okay.
You know, working, if there is one that I don't know about, please let me know, because I like to keep the work local. if
The only
possible.
one would be Sapansky, and I don't think he does
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and that's the one I
Yeah, they're just,
suggested
right.
to him. They're the only ones big enough that I thought would even,
Yeah,
you know, have.
And I see all these companies are gonna have to say that they're going to protect their workers and all that, so.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
right, okay.
Yes, ma'am. We'll have a contract written up. They'll have to
Most
have.
of that,
well, they'll know, if they're certified to do
Oh,
this,
yeah.
they'll
Yeah,
know what they have to do.
they have their,
Yeah.
they have their.
And we'll make sure that they have the
called
appropriate
hazmat?
insurance, including pollution control liability insurance, which is a little different than most contractors carry. So that'll be part of it, that I'll be vetting all of the companies.
And a lot of that stuff is important too, because we're gonna be using some state money to pay for a lot of this, so all that complexity is important.
The other thing, you know, there are people living close back there, and I mean, as they're digging up, what sort of, chemicals are gonna come up, odors, gases, that kind of stuff?
You'll get some gasoline odor from what I've seen. It's not gonna be overwhelming, and it's not gonna be for an extended period of time. It's gonna be that area that's gonna come out quick. I'm gonna get
Hopefully
that
it's
out of
good
the ground,
breeze.
get that out.
Well, they're gonna,
Dilution?
Yeah.
and they're gonna haul it
Solution is the
away,
solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
talk about that. I'm sorry, ma'am?
they're gonna haul it away,
Oh,
it's
yes,
not gonna
ma'am.
just sit up.
No, no, no.
So
It's
correct me
gonna-
if I'm wrong, Carl, but basically are they putting it in barrels and sealing it?
No, they're gonna haul it right off site in a truck.
Okay.
So we'll have an excavator out here, it's not gonna be stockpiled, it's gonna come out of the ground into a truck and off to the landfill,
Now,
right away.
what landfills take this?
I don't think.
Pretty
we're-
much, yeah, pretty much any of the landfills
Really?
around here, yes, yeah, I mean, I'll work with waste management, and that's also part of the bidding process, because we're gonna have the companies that actually do the work. Chances are, I mean, depends upon how the bids look, actually cover the tipping fees. And so they'll say, okay, I wanna deal with, Republic landfill, or they're gonna deal with, waste management. They're gonna wanna go with the closest one around. I don't see any problem. It's, doing a LUST, leaking underground storage tank project like this. There's an exemption for the soil. They're gonna want some analytical, but it's usually an exempt material, and they'll just take it. They use it as daily cover. So, yeah, the disposal of the soil is not an issue.
Ron's got a question.
Anybody
right
else got
there.
any questions?
Ron does.
Ron
Yes,
Hesse.
Ron Hesse. My property is just in the back over here on the other side of the fence. Is my property contaminated or not?
No, sir, not that I can tell, not that we've seen. Now, we will keep you posted. We did send out a notice of off-site migration a while back to all the property owners saying, there's a possibility, and it is, but we will be going after it. It's going to be taken care of, I'm speaking on your behalf.
Well, he's actually the one I was talking about, I didn't see him.
Yeah.
They said they were gonna be in back there in April. Start-
Yeah, that was before we started working with the state on getting additional fundings and getting them to pay for the lion's share of this, which is key. But no, we are gonna make sure that,
Okay.
with the village permission to take care of that back there as unintrusive as possible.
All right. That's good.
And with full restoring, we're not gonna leave a big pile of dirt or anything like that back there for it. Be graded and seeded and topsoiled and taken care of appropriately.
And you'll be notifying them when they're gonna be
Oh,
out
yes,
there.
ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. We'll
Yeah,
all-
he was actually the one I was referring to, but I can't see him behind you.
I hear that a lot. When you're 6'4", 240 pounds, I can't see behind you.
A question for Matt on, doing the blacktop then. Do we have to wait after the soil is put in before we can resurface it?
Fourth to seventh?
I'm going to have some answers on the analytical before we backfill.
Okay.
Because
So once
I
it's
don't- I
backfilled,
don't-
you're done.
Right, because
Yeah.
I don't want to dig a hole, backfill it, and then my analytical come back and like,
All right.
yeah, we gotta.
That's what I was wondering, if we'd have to wait a while and,
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so the plan is, once they're finished and they have their backfill, we have some drainage work that we need to do, and the plan is to rip up the rest of the parking lots.
Yep.
And put a brand new parking lot back
Mhm.
with proper drainage and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
We're gonna try to take the opportunity to make sure that the building is dry from now on.
You know, so the water goes away instead of into.
Yeah,
Some nice carpet we have.
Yeah, but this over here is even worse.
yeah. So,
The chief's office
so we
is
thought it was a good
bad.
idea, but we're actually gonna bid the parking lot separately once we know exactly what they're gonna do.
But once it's backfilled, you're pretty much, you're just gonna do your testing, but we can put the
Yes,
surface
sir.
on
You
and.
betcha, you bet, you bet at that point.
How long does this have to stay at, like, open before you backfill? Is that dependent on the testing?
Right, when I get my analytical back. So the actual work, I was saying, might take 10 days. We might have a couple of days wait before they actually bring in the backfill.
Alright.
When they do bring in the backfill, even though it's gonna be a parking lot and you're not gonna be building a structure on it, we're gonna make sure that there's good compaction all the way through, because we don't want sinkholes or anything like that coming through.
And then once we get the parking lot put back, then you guys will probably come back and put the monitoring wells in.
What I would probably do is work with you on that.
Okay.
So that I can put the monitoring wells in before the parking lot goes in, and then they can asphalt around them, and it's a nice tight seal, and we're not breaking things up and things cracking on your, no, that's something I would like to work with.
Okay.
When that comes time to.
We didn't want our first crack the second day.
I know.
This was-
We don't?
No,
We've done that before with roads.
Oh,
Put
yeah.
them down one week, tore them up the next,
Yep, I hear you.
water breaks.
Yeah.
And, again, I'm sorry this is taking so long, but I tell you, this has been a very complicated one for me, and to deal with the state, it's been.
As long as you keep us abreast of what's going on, I think we'll be a
Oh,
lot,
no,
a
no,
lot
we want
happier.
this done now.
Yeah,
We're
I
so
think-
happy it's here,
Yeah.
and it's gonna
Way
get done, we're
too
happy.
long.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get this done.
Right.
Get this cleaned up and.
Do we-
It's
what's
like,
the-
no, no,
gotta
don't
do
just
to
send him
get
away.
this
You
going?
Oh, I'm not sending them away.
No, no,
We
I'm
expect
not
to
going
see a
to.
lot of them around here.
Okay.
So the next step, council, would be for you to, tell Carl to move forward with the bid process, if you would like. So,
You wanna have a look at
I
that
make a
date sheet?
motion, we move forward with the bidding process.
I'll
Second.
second it, go
We
ahead.
all second it.
Well, I think I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye, 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 aye.
there you
All
go.
right, I know what I'm doing tomorrow, Matt.
Balls in your park.
All right, great. Does anybody have any other questions for me?
No, thank you very much.
Okay,
Make
Matt,
it as
thank
fast
you.
as
Ladies and gentlemen,
possible.
thank you very much.
You have a
Thanks,
lady,
Carl.
lady there?
Sure.
Is that Carl at C?
Carl with a K, thank you. And my last name is Primdahl. P is in Paul, R-I-M is in Mary, D is in David, A-H-L. I've done that a couple of times. A project manager. For AKT Girls. Thank you all very
Oh,
much.
there's
Thank
a-
you.
there's a
Thank
piece
you.
of paper in here.
Thanks, Carl.
These are for the park
Yeah.
commission. and
I
commission.
wondered what that was for.
Yeah.
I'd love to. Thank you.
Thanks.
You all don't mind if I?
See, it was no
Oh,
problem.
no, we don't
it was
mind.
No
You can
problem
leave
at
now.
all. You did-
Oh, yeah, you sat on that side.
Yeah, you did a good job there, so, for somebody
Yeah,
that.
no
Thank you
worries.
for being alive. Thank
As
you.
a phobia of speedy. Okay, like move on to the next subject, the board, committee, and commission appointments.
Yeah, this is our annual reappointment of the board members that are expiring, and, as tradition holds, we reappoint them until they ask to leave, so. So these are all the ones who have expired this year, and,
And nobody said a word.
well, we didn't mention it to
No,
them yet.
that's, yeah.
That's kinda nasty.
No, no,
Well, I'll make a motion that we reappoint the members on the commission.
All of them.
I'll support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, people, for submitting your names.
Is this supposed to be added to the agenda?
It's
Is this
just,
just informational?
yeah, that's for your reading pleasure. It's something that we will be talking about coming up pretty quick.
We hear it all the time.
Okay, departmental reports. DPW report, anybody got any questions?
Anything unusual, Don?
No, not so far. I think it's going pretty good.
How much brush are you picking up now?
All of it?
Huh? Well, besides-
Whatever they
I'll
put
pay.
out.
Whatever they put out.
No, I mean, volume, let's say, is it a lot right now?
I'd say it's probably about
I
average.
haven't even
Average.
picked up any of mine yet.
Give them a couple
I
weeks.
got a yard full of it. Oh my.
But we're trying to get through town in one pass, so we want it all out
by the first full Monday of the week, cause once we come by your house, we're not coming back.
Is it Monday?
Better have it
No.
ready.
The first,
Oh, yeah, but-
the first Monday of the full week, so
Okay,
Sunday.
'cause used to be on Fridays, but it's Monday, okay.
No, it's any day that week. You just don't know
First
what
Monday,
day.
Oh,
Well, we
any
want
day.
it, no, we want it
Right.
out by that Monday, but any day that week.
Yeah.
will be
Oh,
that day.
okay.
See, me get an extra day or two.
If you see them go by, you missed it for that
Yeah.
month.
We're like a garbage man, you kids go by and you're.
Well, for
So
years
he
it
only
was
does it once?
Friday, so now we get. a
No, they
week.
do it the first full week of every month.
Every month, okay. Is that the, oh, how am I gonna get that?
From now through
November,
October,
I think.
November.
I think it's November. But yard waste is Friday, so the bags you put out that Waste Management picks
Yeah.
up, they pick that up on Friday, but we pick up the sticks and branches and things like
Okay.
Shrubs.
that. Shrubs, yeah.
How full is the compost area? The leaf?
We haven't moved it yet, it's pretty cool.
I wish there was a way that we could, a person could buy some of that stuff and have it delivered. That's just like gold.
It would have to be sifted.
Yeah,
I thought we had some,
we do have some. We have sort of like an arrangement with Ray Walker where he'll sift it for, I think it was $40 a load, which I think is what, 4 yards or 6 yards?
Yeah, probably 5, 6 yards.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So we
I
can,
wonder if
we can
you
have
would
it
do a
sifted.
dump
We
truck.
just haven't put together a program with marketing for it yet.
Well, can't you just go get it if you want it?
yeah,
Well,
but
you
I
have
can't
to-
shovel it into
Yeah,
a
You
truck
have to
or
make an
something.
appointment, cause we take the good stuff and we hide it.
I
I'd like to
know.
make an appointment.
We have to pay to get the
Okay.
good stuff. so
Yeah.
if you
I
want
don't think I wanna
it for
hear
free,
that.
you have to take what has
Something you
been
get on
said.
here.
People like
Maybe you need
throw
to say
garbage.
that's a joke, because people are not understanding jokes.
Yeah,
not a
yeah,
joke.
Well,
that is a joke.
Well, we do
It's
take
not a
the,
joke. We take the best for ourselves.
Well, for the village,
Yeah.
yeah.
no, we take the stuff that's sifted and we put it behind a fence, first of all, so it doesn't walk away. Second of all, because we use it for landscaping in the parks and stuff like that.
Yeah, 'cause people like to throw garbage and batteries and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't.
Good.
We try to
Would I
protect
be
it
allowed to
from,
get a hold of Ray and ask him to bring me 5 yards of it?
well, he doesn't bring, he just sifts it for us
He
and
doesn't
brings
have
it
a
back.
dump truck?
Yeah, but he wouldn't, you'd probably have to pay him for that. We
Well,
would,
of course.
if that's a program council wants to start, that's something
Well,
that we would do.
I would be more than happy to pay him for it. I would, that's not a problem. If
Well,
you sift it in and
He
dump
can-
it, you know.
He can get you sifted dirt, that's
He has
that's what
black
he
dirt.
does.
You just have to call him.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with us.
So I should go to him and get his
You
and
could, I
not ours. Yeah, I mean, would look better
don't know.
as a
That's
council
true.
member not getting it.
You're right.
Yeah, okay. I can go to him and get,
He's got a bunch of it out there.
I'll just, I get my,
Making it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you
that
get
ground up
unsifted compost,
asphalt.
you're gonna work, you're gonna do a lot of.
Yeah,
work.
you don't
oh,
want
I don't want,
unsifted
I don't want
compost.
unsifted, I want it all sifted up and everything. Spread it over my front yard, there, it looks nasty.
Might as well
back
drag the river.
Uh,
Do we have anything for Mr. Spicer?
The lagoons.
Do you have any questions on my report?
That's what I'm asking.
there.
Anybody have any questions?
No.
For Mr. Spicer?
I do have a comment. I'm wearing this bright orange shirt today because it's National Work Zone Safety Day.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
What's
So
right?
when you
You're-
see
you're
the
right
orange
in the
cones,
program.
slow down.
Yep.
So,
Nice shirt.
Yes,
Thank you.
looks good on you.
thank you.
How
And
about,
you're getting all ready for our next meeting in 2 weeks, right?
Yes,
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 sir.
we are.
Okay, that takes.
next report, anything, chief?
Nothing other than what's in the report.
Keo is not here. Anything in the code enforcement? Other than the report you gave me? Thank you.
We've just been, we did a lot of work with cars, actually, we worked with the police department, and, one of our officers went around and made a list for us, and we sent out, I think it was 32 letters for, junk vehicles, and few of them have complied. We plan to send out our next round of compliance letters, it looks here, probably in about a week or so, or Thursday, next Monday maybe.
Several of them replied. I think you got my neck about wrong.
What's that?
I said, several of them have replied. It's almost got my neck wrong.
Oh, yeah, yeah, so,
Why are you doing that? I'm not, we're not doing it. The village is. Anything else on, reports? If not,
I have a question.
go ahead.
I have a question again about that zoning issue.
Yeah,
I called you about it,
yes,
and I really think we can't just let that go. Did you go out there and look at it?
I did, yeah.
It's big.
It's huge.
And I
The
think we
barn?
need to fix that. This is, oh, I'm sorry.
The
This
barn?
is, yes.
Yeah.
And, I think we need to fix our ordinance to stop that from happening again.
Are we having a planning commission meeting this, coming week?
We are not. We are working on EDC stuff, and that, we're planning on doing that meeting in May, right, Jenny? May.
Okay, that planning commission typically does those ordinances. That's been our history.
Yeah.
Can that come up at that meeting too then?
First, I think it should, what we should do here tonight is send it back to you at the planning commission
Right,
to fix that part about accessory buildings.
right.
So we
Yeah,
just
that
want a
would-
And
motion
do
to
it
vote
now
for
and
that?
not, yeah, not wait 5 years to.
That was
look
gonna
at
be
it.
my suggestion was,
Okay.
well, either you could, council, if it, cause
So
it's
we
just
do it
gonna be
right, yeah.
simple, it's gonna be as simple as changing words in a little
Yes.
matrix.
It's something that got left out, right?
So either council could do it, cause it's just that simple, you could tell me to bring back a zoning ordinance that has those words removed, or you can send it to the planning commission and they can do it.
Okay,
I
I'll do
think
it
it
that way.
needs to come to us, I really do.
You do?
Yes, I do, because it hits issues about, the whole ordinance thing, that I think the new members need to have pointed out to them, okay? I
So
really do,
move it.
I'll bow to her on the planning commission.
because we have always done those ordinances.
You have. This
And
is
they-
something that got left out when it was printed,
No,
though,
it,
isn't it?
it just didn't get left out, it just was wrong,
Never
there's
talked
a
about?
lot of stuff in there, yes, that we did
Okay.
not send out. to
So,
people.
Well,
so, sending it to the planning commission, please be clear on what you want them to do. Because if it's just changing that part, that's simple. If it's to review the entire zoning ordinance,
No, it's,
No.
we're just talking about the accessory building this time, but I think the new members
You
need to
want them
have
to
that
practice.
experience, yes,
Yeah.
for when we do get ready for the whole zoning thing, okay?
makes sense?
Okay. Then I make a motion, we send this to the planning commission for,
Review and adjustment?
okay,
I'll
Support?
second.
Can't hear that.
can't you?
I'll second.
Talking to me? I'm not supporting.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
One more little thing. I was driving up to the school and I noticed that the markings on Walnut Street have now become the same. So you can't tell which yellow line you're supposed to be on the right side of or left side of or whatever. So could we put that first on the list to line that street again? So that you can tell where the lanes are, because then there's that crazy walking lane over there too. And honestly, it's hard to see those lines at night to tell where you're supposed to be.
Can they be made reflective?
Bright yellow will work,
You know,
'cause
they
they're
just-
both now the same color.
I've seen the lines in different towns for bike lanes and stuff where they have a
Well, they have
regular line,
reflectors.
Lights
but
on
if
the
they
side.
have the hash on the line, that it, at night, it looks like a dotted, it glows.
I know,
and
but
it's
you
right-
can't plow, you can't plow with
Well, that's what I was
those.
wondering, yeah.
I know
I
what
don't
he
know.
means, it's little sticky things that
Yeah,
stick up.
it's like a little plastic.
They're all
thing.
over Florida, when you drive down lanes. they
Yeah, I
have
don't know
those
what they
Yeah,
are,
but-
but
Snowballs over
they're just
hurdle?
little hash marks
They
inside
do.
the
Yeah,
line.
not down there, they
that
don't
glow.
know.
No, it's actually already a work order, Matt already treated a work order.
Are you
Okay,
already
thank
doing
you.
that?
Thank you.
Have you pursued that safe school program for the sidewalk construction and all down there?
I've contacted the school about it and they said that they haven't heard anything back. There's a nonprofit organization that the school is supposed to work directly with, and they haven't heard anything about it. But I can check again. I've talked to Mike a couple times about it.
Would be nice to have a sidewalk.
Yes,
down
it
there.
would.
I can guarantee you, you could put the greatest sidewalk going down that road and they would walk on the road.
Yeah,
I
but
know.
at that point, then you have something to deal with, that you don't know.
Is he gonna go there and arrest every kid that walks on the road? I mean,
No, but if the
they,
kid gets
they
hit, it won't be
just
our
won't,
fault.
I remember when I first started working at the school,
That's callous.
this was the
That's
street
true.
the kids are made. I mean, they done everything nice for the kids to walk down it. They almost put water out there for them. And you know what they done? They walked on Walnut Street.
Mhm.
They just will do the opposite of what you ask. That's just the nature of kids.
But,
I mean,
but I
you
think
could
still
make
it would
nice
be
things
nice
for
for
'em.
them to have a sidewalk that's designated there, so that the ones who are gonna follow rules have a
Mhm.
place to walk where they're not stuck out in the street
Or the
like
mom
this.
with a stroller, or
Yeah,
the,
that's
Yeah.
true, yes.
Mhm.
And the other thing too is, we do have that non-motorized Act 51 money that we're supposed to use. Maybe that's a project that we can put in the budget or the capital improvement plan for next year, even if the safe routes to school thing doesn't pan out. It could be a project that we just take on our own, because we have to have that percentage, for Act 51 purposes anyways. So, and that's a possibility, that's a good project for that.
There you go.
Mr. Coots, you had a question or statement or
Yeah,
something?
I don't think it strictly has anything to do with the children walking. Sidewalk is a sidewalk for anybody walking. I don't think it's to anybody's advantage to have people walk out the street for 2 blocks and then back on the sidewalk. I think if you can't put a sidewalk between the two areas, and 2 blocks, then tear out all the sidewalks in town. You don't need them. Let people go where they want to go. I think it's really ignorant that the money that you blow on parks and everything else, and you can't put in 2 blocks of sidewalk.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
it's like 3 blocks, isn't it?
Huh?
It looks like.
3 blocks, it's long
Two.
blocks.
Two blocks.
We counted up 2, we went up to take a look
Yeah,
at it,
but did you count, you counted,
from sidewalk to
There's 2
sidewalk,
blocks.
but it goes
but
up
the
over
one
a
that's
hill.
really long and over the
Yeah,
hill and down.
yeah.
the-
It starts by where Art Rosser lives and it
Yeah.
goes down 2 blocks to where,
There's no
Marshall
side,
lives.
it's one more, it's where, Jane Nichols lived, is the end of the sidewalk.
That's right,
And
that's
there's
Rosser
one
where
block.
Art Rosser lives.
Then there's one to Art,
And it goes to the end of Jack
okay, you're
Barkhouse.
on that side of the
Property.
street.
It's yours.
He's on the other side of the street. Art Rosser is a white brick house.
He's talking about
We're
across
talking
the
about
street from
dead
there, yeah.
people now.
Yeah. I remember.
Do you see that?
And it goes down to Berries, and then, but that's a long second stretch.
Yeah, you got 1 block to Coinford's, and then 1 block from there to Jack Barkhouse. Except there's no street goes by Jack Barkhouse. Because right at Jack Barkhouse property, it goes the rest of the way to the school, the sidewalk.
Does the sidewalks, is, in front of Marcos is where it starts? Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
right at
it's
the
2
end of
blocks.
his property.
I give, it's 2 blocks, you're right.
What would we have to do to put a
Dorothy
sidewalk in
Marcos, Dorothy Marcos.
The sidewalk don't go that far.
No, but it comes from the school to there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it comes
Yeah,
from the
but it
school to
doesn't
there.
go as far as Marcos, it only goes to like the second house.
Mrs. Thurston's,
Yeah,
Mrs. Minnick's,
yeah, then the sidewalk ends there.
yeah.
Right at the end of Barkhouse property. Right at the edge of his property.
It does, it ends at his property.
Talking the same thing.
We're in the
different
same place. We're in the same place.
The sidewalk doesn't go as far as Marcos property though.
No,
It's
just
before
to it.
that.
Go back to, what would you have to do to put a
Yeah, it
sidewalk?
doesn't go across Mrs. Minnick's,
No.
where Mrs. Minnick lives.
the tall yellow house.
Okay, now.
It's right on the edge of,
It's,
Chris,
yes,
what would you have
on
to
the
do to
west
put a sidewalk
side
in?
of Ross's property.
well, usually the people who own the properties put the sidewalk in.
But this one's different, isn't it? Because of the kids that are.
Well, it would be different, cause it's probably wider
It's a
than a normal
safety-
sidewalk. So the people would pay for 3 feet and we'd pay for the rest of
Yeah.
it, make it a 5-foot sidewalk.
Can we go out into the road like that, or no?
It would
The way
still,
the
it
hash
would
mark-
still be on the right of way. Oh, we wouldn't, no, it would be up in their yards.
Behind the curbs.
Yep,
But,
up
but
up
the
on the
great
other
thing
side of
about
the
that
curbs.
safe school thing we could get money from there and the people, you know, because of the fact that, you know, that it's gonna be school children walking on there, then that would pay for the project period.
The whole thing?
Yep.
Oh,
Well, the only intricacy to that is that the project gets to pick what they do to make a safe route, so
Okay.
it may be a sidewalk, but it also might be, a path down Maple Street, or a path through the woods or something. They would get to decide how it, like the school and the nonprofit organization with partners would make that decision. We wouldn't be able to tell them, okay, you have to put a sidewalk in.
We'll tell the school that we want a sidewalk down there.
well, I'm gonna tell you though, when they built that school, they were gonna put a sidewalk from Ike Gutzmer's house. Do you know where that is?
No.
Oh, jeez. Do you know where Ike Gutz, you know where Mrs. Robbins lived? No. On the end.
I'll be dating if I show my age.
Gwenigers?
Anyone?
Anyone know Gwenigers?
Yeah.
But you know, from there, they were gonna make a sidewalk across that river, up over into the school so that us kids could walk to school, because we weren't, they didn't bus back then. So
Right.
we had to walk, so they were gonna build this sidewalk through this swamp, where we would all walk in the dark through the trees to get to the school. Now, that never happened, but that's what their plan was.
So you used
And otherwise, so then we had to go up through town and come around and go back out. Now, I don't know if any of you guys were here then or not, but, that was
I
supposed to
remember
be
that.
how we got to school. That was part of the plan when they put that big school over there.
And then there
Just
was-
a little bit
was
of-
Yeah.
Nothing. There was nothing.
I'm telling you, if you let somebody
Nobody
else
want-
pick it, that's what you might end up with.
Yeah,
I think it's something we need to look into. Meanwhile,
We are.
get some painted lines, I guess.
yeah, paint the lines.
Anything else? Anything for our public comment section?
I got a question about this police scam that's been on the news. Can you elaborate any more on that?
Just what, with on the news, we got a call from the bank. There's a lady there that was talking about drawing out money and putting it in cards, and they were calling her at the bank repeatedly. So the bank called the number on her phone. She's the last person on the planet with a flip phone, too, by the way.
No,
Second to last. And they called, there was an 865-8287, so the bank called the number back to ask them why they keep bothering this lady, and they got Marguerite. Marguerite says they're not, and then the lady at the bank said, they're calling right now on that number. She goes, impossible. Marguerite said, impossible. I'm on that line. So that's when I went over there, and they were calling in, and even when I got on the phone, I said, this is the police. They weren't intimidated one iota.
We got a call, on what Ken did on his cell phone. Some man was very irate. Why is Ken calling him? Ken didn't know it. He says, I'm not calling you. And the guy said, well, it's our number showing up, which I just think is terrible, so that, you know, you can't depend on,
Well,
you have caller ID, and here you have some, you know, it's not who they say it is, so.
It's
a little
not
bit of
doing you
history
much
back
good
to
to have
that.
the caller
Spoofing
ID.
is quite common.
I guess.
It's called spoofing.
Yeah,
There's an app out for it, anybody can spoof.
apparently.
Apparently, it's not illegal, but impersonating another person.
Right.
But what gets me is, for businesses and stuff, I got a program that says robocalls. The bank calls me and it says robocall. Well, I happen to recognize their number, and I know it's not a robocall, unless they've been doing soliciting out,
Yeah.
you know, but the 9945 number, I've never seen it used. But I get 865 numbers,
All the time.
793 numbers.
That's their new thing.
Yeah,
Well,
Today
it's not
was a
new,
bad day
spoofing's
for
been
it.
around for
It was-
about 8-9
It was
years.
like,
Now
I
they
think,
put a
13
name
or
with it.
14 calls we
not
had
just,
today.
not just
Like
865
now they got
number, but
computers
there's a
doing
name with
spoofing.
it.
Okay.
They, you know,
The
Crazy.
day
Right.
that the chief went on the news that morning, we actually got a call from a guy in Florida who had said that he received
got
a
a call from us.
call from the police department. Yeah. It's a very confusing conversation at first, because I answered the phone and he's like, who is this? I'm like, it's the village office. What do you mean? Wait a second, did
What
you not
village?
just call me and tell me I was going to jail if I don't pay you money? No.
How many people has this affected?
Those are the only
You
two
know?
that we know of, but, I'm sure there has to be.
Is it just elderly that they're going after?
The guy, you know, Matt talked to the guy in Florida, he didn't sound elderly,
He
but
did not.
typically that's what these people go after, is elderly people who are like, oh, okay, I better get down there, you know?
And
Well,
the
most people, I think, hang up on them.
Yeah.
I think most people do. The disturbing part that I think we found out, and I found out talking to the guy, was he already had personal information about the people he was calling. So he called, he knew their name, date of birth, and their social security number.
That's
Wow.
bad.
Yeah.
So
That's
so
scary.
that it lent credence a little bit to their claim, and it scares people into doing things. You have that
Especially
much.
if they're elder, because
Yes.
then they put the fear in them, and then they give them everything, you know, that they want.
And she confirmed to them that that was her social security number. So
Ooh.
now I think she has to worry about
All kinds of
ID,
Oh, yeah.
ID theft.
yeah.
And the best way, I mean, we do training on this every day, but the best way is anything that, I mean, we're told even if it's internal, if we get something from our boss or from HR or anything that tells you to do something that's just not right, give personal information, you hang up or you don't answer it, but you call them directly.
Right.
Don't use that number, don't use the link, cause they'll send you a link, and if you click on it, it'll look exactly like, I mean, they can make it look like government.org, and you click on their links and now they're in, and they can hack your computer and everything. You just don't even go there, you go online, find the phone number, call them directly, and it'll be a completely different office.
One of the most popular scams that I see probably 5-6 times a day is somebody who is a typical vendor of the village will send an email saying, hey, you forgot to pay this invoice, please see attached. And it looks like a vendor, it looks like an invoice, and you click on it, and if you pay them, they've scammed you.
Was it Genesee County just got ransomware? Or Shiawassee?
Somebody did.
Genesee.
Genesee County, yeah.
Genesee.
Yeah, and that's how that happens. I got one the other day that said Amazon.com, you didn't, your item or whatever for $17 just shipped, but we need to confirm billing, and I had been ordering stuff and I almost clicked on it. Almost, and I was like, man, I don't
Well, I
remember
got a call
ordering
the other
anything
day,
for
too.
$17.
And it come up, this guy's name, and it was a St. Charles number, and I answered the phone, and it was somebody through Medicare wanting to sell me a back belt.
There you go. That's
And
the
it's
scam
like-
they
That's a
just brought
scam
out
right there.
yesterday.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
and
Yeah,
then I also
we've been
got
offered
another one
that.
from a St. Charles
Say
number,
what?
didn't give no name.
They want back braces, knee
Yeah.
braces.
Knee
Yeah.
braces.
Did you
I
ask
got
that
4 of
you-
those this morning.
They tell you they're gonna give you the information
It's gonna be
that
free.
you requested.
Mhm.
I have a question
I
for
got
the
one of
chief.
them and I pitched as far as I could.
I have talked to everybody, politicians, police officers, and the whole thing. This is fraud,
Yes.
and it's the same if somebody's trying to break into your house. I mean, it's the same thing. Is there anything that you, as a police chief, can do to get together with other police chiefs and push our politicians, to do something about this situation, because it's horrible now. It really is. When you get 13, 14 calls a day, and you're always running to your telephone to see who it is
Yeah.
that's
That's what
calling.
happened today. For some reason,
It was
today was a
bad
hot
today.
day. I
It's
mean-
it's not fraud until you actually give them some money. And
But it's attempted fraud.
it's attempted fraud, right? I can walk up to someone and say, hey, give me $50 and, or if you give me, I'm with the, so-and-so, give me $50 and I'll do this for you, and then not do it. And not until they give me the money, is it a crime that I know of. Besides, from what I hear, these people aren't even in the US.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Zimbabwe,
They're in,
Zaire.
Eastern Europe,
Canada.
they're in
Dominican
Africa,
Republic.
Russia.
But there just has to be something that can be done here. I mean, everything is so computerized now, our telephones and
Well, the
systems.
stuff on the
and providers.
internet, there's an FBI, site for that where the internet fraud is treated differently. But the phone stuff,
Cyber
I
fraud.
don't.
But somebody needs to do something, because it's scary.
All you can do that I know of is just put the word out. And this lady that day, she says, normally I don't answer the phone if I don't recognize the number. But people were so persistent that, I figured I better find out what they want.
Well, the personal story, we were at a retiree meeting and the sheriff showed up, Federspiel, right?
Yep.
And he said that he got this hysterical call from his own mother.
Sure.
And she's telling him that she doesn't know what to do, she needs some advice because the IRS has a warrant out for her arrest.
Yep,
And he says, Mom, this is a scam, you don't pay, no, she said it isn't, they said they were from the IRS, and he said, Mom, I'm the sheriff, I should know this, and she said to him, I don't care what you call yourself, I got a call. From the IRS.
I don't answer the phone. If it's somebody that knows me, they'll leave a message and I call them back.
I
It's
didn't
gotten
know
that
that
scary.
for a business, you can't.
No.
I don't know, you could, if they're liable, I mean, the phone lines are for anyone to use.
Somebody could be, should be able to do something, you can't tell me they
I
can't,
know,
somebody needs to push them.
what happened to the do not call list? I mean.
It
Yeah,
don't
that's-
work.
that's-
It don't work.
Doesn't do any good.
You can still do it, but
You have to update
They don't
it
do a
every year.
thing. Because today I got calls from, I can look them up, but from one place
Oh,
to
to
get
get
around
around it.
west,
I can believe that.
from the same city, 6 times today,
same.
different phone number every
Yeah, we
time.
did too.
See, my
I got so
husband,
many numbers blocked on my phone, I couldn't check.
I've got
that's what
over
my
a-
husband does. He walks in and says, block this number. So I block it and I say to him, you know they have 50,000 other numbers that can call you with. Not with this one anymore, but they can call you with
Yeah.
other ones.
Don't call you with your own phone number.
They will. They have.
really.
Yes.
It'll come up that way, but they're not really using it.
No, but the number comes
Yeah,
up that way.
they'll use that.
It's crazy.
With an Arab voice from Kingston.
And this guy, it sounded like he was in a room full of telemarketers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
well, not much more we can do with that one. Anybody else got any comments? If not, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Support?
Support.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All those opposed, please stay here till the next meeting.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.